all my stress. Check it out. Feel the rhythm of the bass mark. Man up, feel the rhythm of the bass mark.
Yo, it's Thursday, and EA updates the roster every Thursday during the NFL season. Football personnel and formation packages all begins with the depth chart. So, training. We train to be good, and we prepare to be great. So, starting off with the QB, whoever you want to be your main QB will be in that first spot of that QB. And you have your secondary spot, wherever you want to be that second quarterback. If your quarterback gets hurt, will go in that second spot for the QB position. In our case, we got Brock Purdy. Okay, halfback. And so at halfback, I got Elijah Mitchell. Halfback is very, very important. All right, and just because I have Elijah Mitchell at number one here doesn't mean he'll play every formation. I explained a little bit about that a little bit later. So at my secondary, I have Christian McCaffrey. All right. So like I said, Elijah Mitchell, I have at my number one spot. Doesn't mean he'll play every formation. He will play formations like single back. He'll play a little bit of shotgun. All right. And then we go into fullback. And so if you don't have a real fullback, you want to use a power halfback at fullback. So if you don't have a fullback on your team, find a halfback that has traits like a fullback. You know, he can block, he's strong. He's big in weight. Cal is 235 pounds, so you want to find somebody, a halfback that has some weight on him. Right? He can block, he can power run. So if I didn't have Cal, most likely it will be Jordan Mason will play my fullback if I didn't have Cal. All right. So if I didn't have Cal, I'll have Jordan Mason. All right. At my number one at fullback. We go to wide receiver. And so at wide receiver, you want to put at your number one wide receiver. Most likely, sometimes the receiver with the high release should be your number one. So if you're a person like doing streaks, put the person with the high release at your number one. So this is your outside receiver, and that's why I'm telling you that. So if you have a receiver got a high release, he can get separation. You put him at your number one. He's playing the outside. Your number two receiver. And so this is your number two receiver, is your other receiver that plays number two. And so if you have him playing a formation that has two wide receivers, this is your secondary receiver. This is in that formation. So you have one outside receiver, and then you have your secondary receiver plays the other side. You got one on the left, and you got one on the right. So usually your number one receiver will play at the left side of the outside, the left side, which will be the weak side of the outside, and then your secondary usually play the strong side of the outside. Your third receiver, which I called, I put at Danny Gray there. I like Danny Gray, and so if you have any formation with three receivers, this person is in there. All right, so you gotta know that. And then you have for four receivers. So if you're playing a formation with four receivers, your fourth receiver will be right here. All right. In this case here, I have a tight end at my fourth playing a fourth receiver. So any formation, any four wide receiver formation will turn into a three wide receiver tight end for me. George Kittle's so darn good. I got to have him in every formation. So any four wide receiver formation that I come out in is going to say three wide receiver and a tight end, because I have George Kittle at the fourth wide receiver, and he's not a wide receiver, he's a tight end. So this is very, very important to know your depth chart, because when you're playing a game, you better know your personnel. You got to know who's out there. So plan a formation with one receiver, this is where he goes. If you plan a formation with two receivers, these two guys are in there. If you plan a formation with three receivers, this guy is there. Now, if you plan a formation and you have a person formation with two receivers, but the two receivers is a slot formation. Now, Brandon Ayuk may not be in that formation just because you have him at number 2. All right, and I explain that a little bit later. So it will be your slot receiver. So if you have a formation with two wide receivers, and you put Brandon Ayuk as in your number 2, doesn't mean he's going to play in there. You got to put him at slot wide receiver if you want Brandon Ayuk to be in that two formation. That has a slot that's playing slot. So this right here, anytime he's playing to the two wide receiver, anytime you have a receiver playing towards the outside on the right hand side, Brandon Ayuk will be there. All right. So the second wide receiver, any formation where this receiver is playing towards the outside, then you have this receiver is going to be in there. If you have a formation with 3 wide receivers, this guy is going to be in there. All right. Now, if two formations, two wide receiver formations, doesn't mean this guy's going to be in there. It all depends on that formation. So if it's wing slot, and you got him in the slot wide receiver section, then Brandon Ayuk will be there. For example, all right. I was going to show you a little bit later, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. Slot wide receiver, all right. So on slot wide receiver, I got Brandon Ayuk there, all right. So in this case here, I don't want Brandon Ayuk to be my slot receiver, all right. I want Danny Gray to be there, so I'll put Danny Gray there. So if I come out in a 2 wide receiver formation, and we'll say if it's I-form slot, 2 wide receiver formation, and it's I-form slot, this guy, Danny Gray, will play the slot formation instead of Brandon Ayuk. Okay? And you're probably like, why am I doing that? Brandon Ayuk is a better player. I have my reasons why. Brandon Ayuk is a better player for me. I like Danny Gray at my slot receiver formation. I like Brandon Ayuk going toward onto the outside, just in case I need to do a streak. That's the reason why. So Danny Gray, I want Danny Gray playing my slot. Because he don't have high release. I don't need high release in the slot. I need high release for me towards the outside. So all my receivers that have high release, I want them to play number 1 or number 2 towards the outside. Danny Gray don't have high release like that. And for simple passes, short passes, medium passes, in the slot, that's what I like to do in the slot. So I'll put Danny Gray as my slot receiver. So when it comes to tight end, George Kittle, of course, is my number 1 tight end. You have your number 2 tight end. You have your number 3 tight end. So for formations that have 3 tight ends, whoever you put at number 3, he's going to play it. Formations with 2 tight ends, whoever you put at number 2, he's going to be in there. Okay. Left tackle. So you want to make sure your best left tackle is in the game. Your best pass block, your best run block. If your person like with me, I like running towards the left, so I want to make sure I have the best run blocking left tackle in the game. You have your left guard. Whoever you put at number 1 will play number 1 left guard in the whole entire game. All right. Then you have your center. All right. And whoever plays the center is very, very important. So you want to make sure that you have the best center that you want to play your center. The center it's on offense. It's the most important position, because if it don't go right with your center, everything else is messed up. I mean, your quarterback is not going to be able to probably throw correctly because they got you. He's running for his life. So the center, everything starts off with the center. So it's very, very important to make sure that the people that you want to play on the field is playing in the position that you want them to play, and that you have the best personnel out there for you to be successful. All right. Sometimes you got to practice and practice to see who is the best personnel person out there for you to succeed. Training makes you good, and we prepare to be great. Your right guard. So you want to make sure you have the best right guard in the game that you want to in that position. So whoever you put at number one will play number one. Whoever you put at number one at right tackle will play number one at right tackle. So let's talk about defense here. Defense. Defensive personnel packages. This is in the book of TK Madden Football Geometry on page 16. Left end. So at left end, this is very important for base defense. So whoever you have at left end is this is only for base defense. 4-6, 3-4, 5-2, 4-3. So for base defense, 4-6, 3-4, 5-2, 4-3. All right. So I'll put Chase Young at number one. He's going to be my number one left end in the base defense. My right end, Nick Bosa. He's going to be my right end. Well, he's going to be my main right end in base defense for 3-4, 4-6, 4-3, 5-2. So whoever you put at number one right in this spot will play in your base defense. And so if you're playing base defense, I'm a 4-3 guy, so I want the best at right end. I want the best pass rushing guy playing this. I want the best guy that has great finesse moves. He can block shed, because most people like to run towards the left more than towards the right, and so I want the best guy there. All right, so your right end, you gotta make sure you have the best, the guy that you want there based on how you like to play at your right end. So remember, whoever you put at number one here, it's only for your base defense. 4-6, 3-4, 5-2, 4-3. All right? And then you have your secondary right end person. We'll go back to the left end. You have your secondary left end person. All right? And then we go into your DT. Your DT, this is only for base defense. 4-6, 3-4, 4-3, 5-2. So whoever you want at DT right here will go for your base defense. Now remember, in 3-4, you only got one. You got only one DT. So you got one DT that plays in a 3-4 defense. So whoever you put at number one here will play number one in your base defense. Whoever you put at number two will play number two in a 4-3 defense, in a 4-6 defense. So this is very, very important. Right? Very, 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 very important for you to know that. Very, very, very important for you to know that. At DT. So at DT, I got Hargrave, I got Armstead. So in a 4-3 defense, in a 3-4 defense, this guy's going to play. Hargrave's going to play. 5-2, 4-6 base defense, he's going to play. All right. Left linebackers. Your left linebacker. In this position here, your left linebacker only plays in a base defense. So if you're playing nickel, there's no left linebacker. If you're playing dime, there's no left linebacker. You're playing quarter defense, there's no left linebacker. So remember, when you call when you're playing defense, if you're calling a base defense, you got a your left linebacker is playing. Why this is important? Because based on your opponent's offense, if he calls a he calls offense with 3 receivers, and his receivers is very speedy, they can run. Remember, if you call a base defense, you might not be able to catch that receiver if you're calling a base defense. So this is why this is very, very important to know your personnel. So your left linebacker only plays in base defense. So whoever you put at number 1 will be your number 1 left linebacker. And usually for me, I like left linebackers that have pass coverage skills. So if you like to play 3-4, you want a pass rush linebacker. If your person like to play 4-3 or 4-down lineman, you want a pass coverage linebacker. And you might be asking, how would I know that? Well, you look at his abilities, his styles. So you go to styles and look at his ability. His style as a left linebacker is a cover linebacker. He's a cover linebacker, so he can protect the pass coverage. All right, he's a pass coverage linebacker. And so if you're playing a 4-3, this is the type of guy that you want in there. You want a pass coverage linebacker. If you're playing a 3-4, you would want to put a pass rush linebacker. All right, let's see if we have any pass rush linebackers. Let's just check him out. This is a cover linebacker. That's a cover linebacker. I don't think we have any pass rush linebackers. All right, but if you're playing a 3-4, let's see, let's check this out. Yeah, if you're playing a 3-4, you want to maybe have a pass rushing linebacker. And then the reason why is because that left linebacker is a little bit closer. He can come a little bit closer to the line. So you want to maybe have a pass rushing linebacker. I play 4-down lineman, so I want a pass coverage linebacker. All right. And there I'm gonna put my secondary linebacker. I want him to be this guy here. All right. Now, a secondary linebacker doesn't really matter. It only matters if you're playing franchise, because you're playing regular head-to-head, they don't really get hurt. But you can put a secondary a left linebacker there, and like I said, in head-to-head, they really don't get hurt. But if you're playing franchise, they do get hurt. So whoever you put here will be your secondary left linebacker. And once again, linebackers only play in a base defense. The left linebacker. Then you have your middle linebacker. And so you want your best middle linebacker, whoever you want to play a middle linebacker, you put there, and the middle linebacker will play in every formation. All right. Now you have your second middle linebacker here. All right. In a base defense, your second middle linebacker does play. Your second middle linebacker will play in a 3-4. All right. So in 3-4, you have 2 middle linebackers on the field. In a 4-4, you have 2 middle linebackers on the field. All right. So whoever you put second right here will play in a 3-4 and also play in a 4-4. All right. So your secondary middle linebacker in base defense will play in a 3-4 and a 4-4. 4-3 don't have 2 middle linebackers playing. Your right linebacker, once again, in base defense, this is only in base defense, he will play 3-4, 4-3, 4-6. All right? Only in base defense. Whoever you want to be as your number one right right linebacker will go there. Whoever you want to be your second right linebacker will go there. All right. In my case here, I'm going to put Winters as my second right linebacker. Now, usually the second right linebacker really doesn't matter. It only really matters in franchise, doesn't really matter in head-to-head because they really don't get injuries or stuff like that. All right. So I have Greenlaw as my number one. He's who I want there. Now in a 4-3, you might want to have a pass coverage linebacker. I like to play on a 4-3 guy. In 3-4, you might want to have a pass rush linebacker. And how would you know? You look at his style. He's a cover linebacker. So in a 4-3, for me, I like having a pass coverage linebacker. And once again, this stuff really, really matters. Because if you're playing somebody that comes out in 3 wide receivers, you don't want to come out in base defense. If you come out in base defense, you will probably get burnt. Then you have your corners. All right. You have your number one corner. Whoever you want at number one will play number one. Whoever you want at number two will play the number two. We'll play number two. In this case here, I'm gonna change it up here. So I want at number two. I'll change it up here. This person I want at number 3. I'm gonna change it up here. We'll make at number 4. Free safety. Then you have your free safety. Whoever you put here will play your free safety. In my case, in this year's depth chart, I don't want Gibson at my free safety, so I'm gonna change him up there and put R.B. Thomas. You know, he's a corner, but I like him playing at free safety. All right. And then here I have Logan Ryan. I'll have him playing as my second free safety. And there's formations that you will have 2 free safeties playing. Okay. There's formations that you will have 2 free safeties playing, like quarters. You know, so if a person's playing a quarter formation, you have 2 free safeties playing. You plan on prevent, you have 2 free safeties playing. All right, that's very, very important. You know, if you're playing somebody on you on defense, and if you're not in the right, you don't have the right person out there, you could get beat by a person's speed, or if you don't have the right because you don't have the right personnel. So in quarters, you have 2 free safeties playing. All right. Strong safety, whoever you put at strong safety, it matters. It matters. All right. So I got the people that I like at strong safety here. My second strong safety. So in some formations, you have 2 strong safeties playing. All right. Especially like a big nickel G, you have 2 strong safeties playing. So if you're playing big nickel G, you have 2 strong safeties playing out there. Some formations, you have like in a dime 2-3-6, you have 2 strong safeties. So this is very, very important. So in dime 2-3-6, you have 2 strong safeties. So in my case here, I like to put at my secondary strong safety, because I know I have 2 strong safeties in big nickel G, 2-3-6 dime. So I like to put this corner there to play as a second strong safety, and at least I have a little bit of speed there. All right. So strong safety. Whoever you want to play at number 1, you put in number 1 spot. Whoever you want to play at number 2, but remember, whoever you put at number 2 will be for your big nickel G, your dime 2-3-6, and what other formations there will be 2 strong safeties. Dime 2-3-6, dime sugar weak, and big nickel G. All right. And you have your kick. Whoever's your best kick, you want him at number 1. Whoever's your best punt, you want him at number 1. Kick return, whoever you want to be at your kick return, you put at number 1. Whoever you want to be your punt return, you want at number 1. And special special kicks here. You put whoever you want there. KOS. Um, your LS. Your third string running back. Now this is very, very important. Your third down running back. I said third string. I mean your third down running back. All right, your third down running back is very, very important. I think I told you earlier. Just because I had Elijah Mitchell at number one doesn't mean he's going to play every formation. All right. So your third round running back is very, 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 very important. So I have Christian McCaffrey at my third down running back. Why would I have Christian McCaffrey as my third down running back? Because I want a running back that can go out on a pass. So a lot of three wide receiver formation plays will start off. Will play Christian McCaffrey. So that's why I have Christian McCaffrey playing at my third down running back. So any type of three down linemen, three wide receiver formations, three wide receiver formations to the left or to the right, most likely Christian McCaffrey will definitely play. All right. So here's your three down running back. So Christian McCaffrey will play my three down running back. So whoever you want to be your third down running back will play in the number one spot. And you want a running back that can catch the ball. I tell you that. So you want a running back that can catch the ball. A running back that's good at running, and a halfback that's good at running, and a running back that is also good at catching the football. So in this case, you want to make sure that you have somebody that can catch. He's a playmaker, and somebody that can catch. All right. So we go to styles here. So my third down running back, I always want to make sure that he doesn't drop balls. You don't want no running back out there that can drop balls. If he drops balls, it's not good. Okay, so your third down running back, when he can be able to run and not drop balls. All right, so it's very, very important. Third down running back, most likely it's a wide set, formations. Sometimes you have this running back, he's playing on empty sets. You got empty sets with halfbacks in there, so it will be these are your third down running backs. So whoever you put here will play that empty set. Whoever you put here at the third down running back will be playing in that empty set. So if you got empty sets with running backs, this is where they go. Power running back. Power halfback. So here it's kind of like having two fullbacks in the game. All right, it's almost like having two fullbacks in the game. So you want your best and strongest dude playing that power run. All right. In this case here, I'm gonna change that, and I want Elijah Mitchell there, and I would put Jordan Mason in there, but I like Elijah Mitchell. So whoever you want to be that power halfback, you want here. He's most likely that sometimes they're strong. In my case, I can have Jordan Mason or Elijah Mitchell, but I'm going to go with Elijah Mitchell. Whoever you like will play your power halfback. And your power halfback, these are formations where you're playing at the goal line. Playing goal line. Elijah Mitchell will definitely play that in that personnel formation. Will be in that personnel of that formation as a halfback. So if I call goal line, Elijah Mitchell will definitely be the guy that will be running the ball. Slot wide receiver. In my case here, I have Danny Gray, and at second, I'm gonna put George Kittles. All right. Some formations have two slot receivers. All right, two slot receivers, and you have some formations that has 4 wide receivers. This will replace formations that have 4 wide receivers, but they're 2 slots. So this will put George Kittles in that formation. So you got formations that have 2 slot receivers. That will put that's where the second slot receiver will come in. So you have your first slot receiver. So if you call two wide receivers, and it's like it's called I-form slot or single back wing slot, the number one guy in your SLWR slot receiver will play. So in this case, it will be Danny Gray. It will be Danny Gray over whoever you put at the second receiver. So your second receiver will not play if it's a formation with in the slot. So I-form slot, single back wing slot, strong slot, anything that has slot, there's going to be a slot receiver. And this number 2 receiver, if you don't have him in a slot as a slot receiver, he will not play. All right. He will play. This guy here, number 2, will play in like I-form pro. He will be on the outside. So your slot receiver, any formations with slot, your number, whoever you want to play the slot, will go here at your number 1. If you're a formation with 2 slot receivers, that second slot receiver will be put in. Most likely, formations that have to do with 4 wide receivers with slots. And here we go with your right-left end. Your right left. Now this is very important for nickel. Very, very important for your nickel defense. This is for your nickel defense, your dime defense, your dime normal defense. This is your dime your dime normal defense, your dime 2-3-6 defense. So it's very, very important. And I'm a nickel guy, and I love nickel. So at left end, we started off at left end. I'm gonna put Greenlaw here. I'm gonna put a linebacker here. All right. So that means in nickel 2-4-5, dime normal, and nickel, Greenlaw is going to play at the left end for me. All right, he's going to play at the left end, and then you have your second right. You have your second right left end. All right, your second right left end, and this guy will play the he will play in your 2-3-6. All right, 2-3-6. So this guy, whoever you put at the second right left end, R left end, will play your will play number 1 in dime 2-3-6. So in dime 2-3-6, the number 1 guy will play this guy right here, and whoever you put at number 2 will play number 1 in dime 2-3-6. So number 2 will play in dime 2-3-6 as number 1. Number 1 here will play DT in dime 2-3-6. So Greenlaw in dime 2-3-6 will play DT. All right. So right left end is for nickel packages and dime packages. All right. So nickel, dime, and quarters. Nickel, dime, and quarters. This will be your left end. Your second left end, RLE, will play in dime 2-3-6. So this only affects dime 2-3-6. So your second left end will play as number 1 in dime 2-3-6. This guy here will play DT in dime 2-3-6. Let's go to R right in. Okay, R in. This is so difficult to say. Your right in, R right in, Nick Bosa and nickel. So this only affects the nickel. So Nick Bosa will be my number 1. Right R in will be Nick Bosa. So whoever you want at R right in for nickel, dime, and quarters will play number 1. So at number 2, and I'm going to put here Burke. I want him to play number 2, R right in. And this only affects, he only plays in dime 2-3-6. So in dime 2-3-6, Burks will play my R right in at number 1. Nick Bosa will play DT in dime 2-3-6. Okay, only in dime 236 this would change. So this only affects R right end only affects nickel, dime, and quarters, and it gets a little bit of confused a little bit. So this is why this is very important. So if you're playing defense and somebody has in 3 wide receivers, you want to come out in nickel. You will have this person here, whoever you put here, will play in the nickel package or dime package. Now, in dime 236, I got somebody that can got some speed and my got some speed and that can also have a little bit better. He has athleticism. Is the word I want to say. So to stop the run and so in dime 236 and some wide packages. Somebody's in like a wide package, you might want to play dime 236. So at dime 236, my second RN will play number 1. So Burks right here, I got him at R right end. He will play number 1, and Nick Bosa will play my DT in dime 236. Now at DT, RDT, all right, and I like to call it R right DT. I don't think the R stands for that, but I call it right. All right, so DT, RDT. You can whoever you want here will play number 1. Whoever you want there will play number 2. So this only affects nickel 245, nickel normal, nickel will, nickel Sam, dime normal. All right, dime normal. So in this case here, I like to put Chase Young at DT, and I'm gonna go with this guy here. So whoever you put here only affects nickel, dime, normal, nickel will, nickel Sam. All right. So this is only the DTs for your nickel package. Now, when you play dime 236, your right left end and your right end will play DT. All right, I explained that earlier. Then your secondary right end or secondary right left end will be your number 1 right left end, right left. So this guy will here becomes number 1. This guy right here will become number 1 in dime 236. All right. So regular nickel, regular dime. This is where the RDT takes place. This is your nickel. This is just for your nickel packages. This is for your dime packages and your quarter packages. Now, anything that has to do with 335, all your 335s, the DT will be your base DT, your base package DT. So Hargrave will play 335 nickel. All right, so this would change so if you're playing $1, if you're playing nickel 335, it's going to be your base DT. All right, your base so in nickel 335 and $1, your DT is very important in stopping the run. So it's your base DT in any type of 333, any type of 335. Any type of 3 down lineman set. Any type of 3 down lineman set, your base DT will be in those, would be your main DT. Nickel 4 down lineman sets, wherever you put at RDT will play the DT. I know it sounds very complicated, but if you get the stuff memorized, it helps out your defense to know your personnel, who's out there in each formation, defensive formation. So, you can match up your opponent's offense based on their personnel and your personnel. And you have your slot linebacker. Now your sub linebacker. Sorry, not slot linebacker. Your sub linebacker. All right. So you have, in some cases, you have three middle linebackers out there. All right. So this is for nickel packages. So you have your main, whoever you put at number 1 will be your main middle linebacker. Whoever you put at number 2 would be your second middle linebacker. Whoever you put at number 3 would be your third middle linebacker. Your second middle linebacker, who you put there, you can put a safety. You can put any type of safety there if you want a safety there. In my case here, I like to put a safety there. I'm gonna go with George Odom. So I got him playing in as my second middle linebacker. So sub linebacker, you have 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this only affects nickel. So in nickel 245, dime, normal, you have 2 middle linebackers. All right, 2 middle linebackers. So my second middle linebacker will play as a safety. I haven't played as a safety, so you can put a safety there to play as your second middle linebacker. All right, in the middle of the field. So it's your number 2 sub linebacker, whoever you want to play in the middle of the field. This is very important. Very important, especially if you're playing guys that are playing formations like trips tight end or trey wide flex, because that second middle linebacker is going to match up with one of those slot receivers. So if you put a linebacker there, if you leave it with a regular linebacker there, he might not have the speed to stop that vertical. So it's very, very important to know your personnel. Now, 3 middle linebackers only occur. You only have 3 middle linebackers in 3-3-5. 3-3-5. You have 3 middle linebackers in the game. So I think that's the only formation where you have 3 middle linebackers in the game. They're playing the middle of the field. So here, I'm gonna go with another safety. I'm gonna go Brown here. And the reason why I'm going with Brown in my case is because I know he has hit power. I like to have hit power in the middle of the field. And so I got Fred Warner, I got George Odom, and I got Brown. George Odom don't have big hitter trait like that, but he can. I don't think he can hit, but he got speed, and that's why I'm gonna put him there. But Brown has a big hitter trait, so I'm gonna put him there. And he only plays in a 3-3-5. So in 3-3-5, nickel 3-3-5, you have 3 middle linebackers on the field. So that's the only time you have 3 middle linebackers on the field, and nickel 3-3-5. So this sub linebacker only affects nickel and dime, and nickel, dime, and dollar packages, and quarter packages. And then we go with your sub cornerback. Your sub cornerback. So your slot corner. Sorry, not sub. Slot corner. So your slot corner will guard that slot receiver. So this is very, very important when you're playing nickel, because you want to guard that slot corner, that slot receiver with a slot corner. So you want to guard the slot receiver with a slot corner. So it's very, very important. So very, very important to know that. Anytime your opponent is comes out of formation, he has a slot receiver, you want to make sure that slot corner is matched up with that slot receiver. So in my case here, I'm going to put the slot corner that I want, and then your second slot corner, and your second slot corner, and which will be in some dimes. So in some dimes, you will have a slot corner. So in some dimes, you have a slot corner. So dime rush, dime normal, dime 146, dime Sam, dime Will, quarters defense. You'll have 4 corners out there. So make sure you put the person that you want to play your second slot corner. So I got the person that I want playing my second slot corner. So this is very, very important. So if you got, let's say a spread formation, all right? You got gun spread. The person comes out gun spread, that's 4 wide receivers. That you want to make sure that you come out in some type of dime where you have 4 cornerbacks out there. 4 cornerbacks, all right? So 4 cornerbacks. So you have 2 to the outside and you got 2 slot corners. So if a person comes out in a 4 wide receiver spread, this is, or 4 wide receiver anything, make sure you have 2 slot corners out there. So you have 4 corners, you got 2 outside corners, and then you have 2 slot corners. All right. So slot corners affects nickel and dime. Nickel and dime. So in nickel you have 1 slot corner, and dime you have 2 slot corners. Not all dimes, only some dimes. Training. We train to be good, and we prepare to be great.
TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. This is the hardcover copy. Man, if you haven't got your copy, please get your copy. If you're a Madden player and you want your Madden game to go to the next level, you gotta pick up this book. Everything that you need is in this book. TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. This is the hardcover copy. 550 pages. Man, some of my favorite pages is the run concepts. Because it gives you like the definition of how to run. It tells you how to run, how to take advantage of the defensive line and the linebackers. Man, this book is amazing. Okay, it is amazing. So I'm gonna show you some couple things that's in the book, man. Like I said, my favorite pages is the run concepts. And man, this is like a college course. 317, man. We're looking at the 95 Willie run here. And most people probably don't run the 95 Willie run. But this shows you gives you like the definition and what the 95 Willie run is all about, and how to run the 95 Willie, and when to run it, when to run a power roll or RPO run, halfback slam, halfback misdirection. Man, you got to pick up this book. This book is, if you love playing Madden, you definitely got to pick up TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. It's 550 pages. It is a college course. It's for every Madden game. So you only have to buy one copy. You only have to buy one copy, and it's for future, past, and present. That's what's so great about this book. It's for future, past, and present, because it's a football game, and football don't change. The concept of football don't change. The fundamentals of football don't change. That's why it makes this book so great. There's nothing on the market that is like it. TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. Please get the hardcover copy. Hardcover copy. This is amazing. This is amazing. Hardcover copy. This is every formation is in the game, and you're able to write in the book. Write in the book. I mean, there's custom pages that you're able to write in the book. You know, you don't have to memorize nothing. Your opponent comes out in an offensive formation, and you forget how to stop that formation. You can write it down. For example, trade wide flex strong. You know, here's one page. You can write it down. You can also have a scheme. You can write down your scheme, how to beat cover 3, how to beat cover 4, how to beat cover 6. Another great thing is it also teaches you how to read the defense. For example, it teaches you how to read the defense. Let me find a chapter where it teaches you how to read some of the defense, okay? It's called Defensive Reads. It's on page 437. 437, we're gonna go to 437 here. And 437, Defensive Reads, all right? Okay, so how to recognize a cover 2 zone, how to recognize a cover 3 zone, how to recognize a cover 4 zone, okay? And base a line. So I'll show you how to read the defenses in spreads and how to read it when it's a base of line. So you also show you how to read base of line and how to attack. And so this book is awesome. Awesome. Another thing that I like about the book is it gives you the concept of how to attack cover 4, the concept of how to attack cover 3, the concept of how to attack every single coverage, how to break the coverages. Man, this is a cheat book, almost like a cheat book, but it's not really like a cheat book because it's the fundamentals of football. It's the fundamentals of football. TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. Buy your book right now on Amazon.com. That's all I can tell you. This is the hardcover copy. It's 3 different versions: paperback, color copy, and it's black and white. but you must get the color copy. All right, color paperback or hardcover copy like this one right here. It's the hardcover copy. Man, I'm telling you, guaranteed. If you don't like it, you can send it back to Amazon, get your money back. But this is a must-have. TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. Until next time, may God bless. TK Madden Football Geometry, Logic and Purpose. Offensive line, defensive line. Learn how to read the defensive line, shift the offensive line. We got the defensive counters. We got the hot blitz. Your quarterback taking hits. It's the ideology. It's TK Madden Football Geometry. Get your copy. Hardcover copy. Color paperback copy. Black and white copy. Get your copy. And tell somebody. TK Madden Football Geometry. Logic and Purpose. Available at Amazon.